Okay guys, today we're going to talk about imaginary numbers, the symbol for the imaginary number, what imaginary numbers mean, and some basic definitions. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to write the symbol for the imaginary number. And the symbol for the imaginary number is denoted by I. And what does I equal? I equals the square root of -1. Now, this definition is very important for us, especially for complex numbers, but we'll get there in a little while. Now, from this, if I was to square both sides, then I'd also get the idea that I squared is equal to -1. Right? So that's a very important identity as well. So what does the imaginary number represent? Well, the imaginary number really lets us do a couple things. First off, it lets us get roots of quadratics that don't have real roots. They have complex roots. Another thing is that when you have square roots of negative numbers, complex numbers are a very good way of writing them. And you can do this with the imaginary number I. So let's say you have something like the square root of 4. And we know this is equal to 2. So what would happen if, we have the square root of 4 of -4, what would happen then? Well, a special property we have for radicals is that we could rewrite this as square root of -1 times the square root of 4. Okay, so what do we have here? We know that the square root of -1 is I, and square root of 4 is 2. So this is equivalent to 2I. And if you were to do other examples, you would find that that this would work out with other square roots as well. So if we had like square root of -25, this is equal to 5I, because I is the representation of -1, and the square root of -1 and the square root of 25 is 5. So this is the equivalence we have here. So yeah, that's basically imaginary numbers. The idea you have to get, and we'll go into it further in later videos, is that I is equal to the square root of -1, and I squared is equal to -1. Those are the most important identities you have to understand about imaginary numbers. And yeah, this is the end of the video. Thanks guys, leave a comment and like it.